kind of like a popularity contest, and we think we're pretty popular.
The Bethpage Best of Long Island Awards are back, and we're up for Best Radio Station.
Rock your vote every day at bestoflongisland.com.
The voice of Nassau Community College.
This is the award-winning 90.3 WHPC HD Garden City.
Listen on your smart speaker.
Play WHPC.
And available on Odyssey and iHeartRadio.
.3 WHPC. The voice of Nassau Community College. Welcome to another edition of From the Press Box. I am Rob Leonard. Joining me is my brother, an award-winning sports writer, Tim Leonard, who's wearing a mask today. I don't know why.
Good morning, brother.
Wait, take the mask off. It does sound horrible.
Because you're sick.
I'm not sick. I'm fine.
I don't want to get sick.
I'm fine, brother. You know? Don't say I'm sick when I'm not. I might be sick in the head because you're my brother.
Don't blame me.
I blame you all the time.
I am not to blame for your
Well, anyway, I blame you anyway.
Incapacitation mentally.
I'm fine. Anyway, let's, every week we're here from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. This show becomes a podcast later on, even though Steve Mandracina, host of Everything and Anything, every Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. here at the station.
Or as I like to call him, Salty Steve.
Salty Steve, he claims that our show afterwards is not a podcast, even though it's on demand and you can, look it up or listen to it anytime.
It's a salty take.
I don't know, man. He can be a troublemaker like that Mandracina.
He is.
Host of Everything and Anything on Fridays here. Anyway.
Does he everything come first or does he anything come first?
What?
I get confused with
everything.
Everything? Okay.
Everything and anything.
Sure.
And we're almost positive there's another show out there that's not Everything and Anything, but it's close. And we're convinced that they listened to Steve's show at one point.
Probably.
And stole the name.
Probably.
So
when I was working upstate, the paper did a rebrand.
Right.
And they came up with a new slogan. And as it turned out, which were, slogans, let's face it, slogans often are repeated.
Right.
And the slogan that we came up with, which was thought up by a very respected news editor by the name of Jan Shields, but after some research and after we already started using it, it was discovered that another paper was using the exact same slogan.
Right.
So, what are you going to do?
Well, on the Beatles channel on Sirius XM, there's a show called The Fab Forum. And
they're ripping you off.
That was the original name of our podcast with my three friends, and then we stopped using the Fab Forum because one of the guys quit, and it was the Fab Four, the number 4 spelled out, and we only had 3 people, so
Fab 3
Yeah, it didn't sound right. So
it doesn't sound right. You're right.
But you know what? They stole it. I mean, they could have done a Google search. They do a Google search. They would have found it like 1 second. This is called banter, brother. This is what sports radio is.
We got
now.
A lot of sports to talk about.
I know, brother, but if you
got a lot of sports to talk about, nobody wants to talk about your Beatles show.
You listen to sports radio. It's all about gambling now.
Yeah, good.
And it's all about sports. Everything, but
it's not about the Beatles. You got 3 hours on Friday to talk about the Beatles.
I'm just saying that names can get taken, brother. I'm surprised that From the Press Box hasn't been taken.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
There is a show called From the Press Box somewhere.
No, there isn't.
I think there is.
I did a search on it.
If you do the search on I
did a search on it.
One of them. I forget which one it is.
Anyway, let's talk about the Giants.
We were there first, though. I mean, we did this. We had this name 30 years ago.
Right.
So,
but
I don't want to hear it. People ripping us off.
Yeah. Anyway, the Giants actually beat the Panthers. I'm shocked by this. I was shocked when I'm seeing this game and I'm like,
I was not.
Oh my God, what's going on here?
I was not as shocked because first of all, the Giants defense was very good. But part of the reason the Giants defense was very good is because Christian McCaffrey is hurt again and is not playing. So when you have Sam Darnold. And stop me if you heard this before, brother, but Sam Darnold playing behind a crappy offensive line with no offensive weapons around him. Gee, doesn't that sound familiar?
I think he has a bad agent. You think he...
Well, he had Christian McCaffrey for the first 3 games, and the Panthers won all 3 games.
Right.
McCaffrey got hurt, and the Panthers have lost 4 in a row. So now Sam Darnold is basically in the same position he was when he was with the Jets. Except the weather's a little better down in Carolina, and he can go golfing more.
Who cares?
Assuming
about golf?
he golfs. I don't know.
Who cares about golf?
But so the Giants, 25-3. First of all, credit to Daniel Jones. Even though I still am not convinced he's the future. He had a pretty good game. He's still coming back off the concussion from 2 weeks ago, but he looked a lot better this week than he did last week. That's for sure. And he even caught a pass, brother. The Giants did a little Philly special kind of play.
Right.
Not Phil Staros, Philly special from the Eagles. They stole it from the Super Bowl. So more stealing. But the ball went to what was the guy's name? I can't even read these notes; they're so small. Dante Pettis.
Right.
Got the pitch because the handoff went left. The pitch goes to Pettis. Jones is running outside to the right. First of all, Daniel Jones. Oh my God, is he slow? I don't know. He wasn't hustling, or he's just not fast in the first place. But he just kind of lumbered out there on the right.
Yeah,
There's nobody there. He didn't. It wasn't like he had to really run.
That's why.
But here comes Pettis' pass, and it's high. He's hanging his quarterback out to dry on a Philly special pass. Are you kidding me? So what is Daniel Jones? Luckily, is a tall guy. Jumps, reaches up with one hand like an Odell Beckham Jr. kind of play. Of course, doesn't catch the ball with one hand, but manages to control it well enough. And as he's coming down, kind of presses it against his helmet like David Tyree. So here's Daniel Jones kind of on one play making two of the greatest catches in Giants history. And then he got crushed, absolutely crushed by a Panthers defender. And I'm like, oh no, here we go again. Your quarterback who 2 weeks ago had a concussion, and you're making him jump and putting him in harm's way on a Philly special pass. And then Dante Pettis had the nerve after the game when they asked him about it, said, I thought it was a dime. Because he was kind of poking fun at Daniel Jones' nickname, Danny Dimes.
Right.
I'm like, dude, that was so far from a dime. It wasn't even a penny, that pass. But it worked.
It worked.
It worked. Later on, Daniel Jones throws a touchdown pass to Dante Pettis, who, by the way, is wearing number 13. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. It's nice that they're blowing leaves outside the window here.
No one cares, Tim. Let's go back to the sports.
People can probably hear it.
They do hear it.
So here's Pettis catching a touchdown pass. Later on, the Giants got a touchdown run by who got that? I don't even know. Brother, you should put the score up on the computer. So I can't even read these notes; they're so small.
You wrote them.
Yeah, they're too small. So anyway, but the Giants got a 19-yard run for a touchdown and pulled away in the fourth quarter. They scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. Graham Gano kicked a couple of field goals, and here we are. But the defense was the story of the day because they held Darnold to 111 yards. Passing, 16 for 25, 111. Again, where have we heard these numbers before? While he was playing for Adam Gase with the Jets. So Darnold winds up getting pulled from the game because that's how bad he was playing. But the Giants led 5-3 at halftime because Darnold was forced into an intentional grounding from the end zone because the Giants were putting the pressure on him. Azeez Ojulari, the rookie, 2.5 sacks. Giants had 6 sacks. Ojulari, he was a second-round pick. He was the guy who they said, great motor. He's going to be a guy who's going to pressure the quarterback. Yesterday was the day he started showing himself and really looked good. He got past people. He was harassing Sam Darnold, and that was a great thing to see. But it was the fact that the Giants' defense held the Panthers to 3 points. That was big. And then the offense comes around. All the injuries that they have, all the receivers, all the players who can't play. Galladay can't play, and Saquon Barkley is out with the sprained ankle, and Tony, the Kadarius Toney, the first round pick. The Giants still have so many weapons who can't play because of injury, but managed to score 25 points. And we've said this before. The Giants, this offense, the way this offense was built, even though so many guys were hurt. This offense needs to put at least mid-20s on the board every week. because the defense is only so good. It's supposed to be better than what it's been, but yesterday it was what we saw was advertised. But again, Carolina's a bad team. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, the Giants defense figured it out, because they haven't. They just played a bad team. But you know what? 2-5 is better than 1-6.
Yes, especially
so.
In
Thank
New
you
York
very
right
much.
now.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, the Jets. I don't even really want to talk about the Jets because they got crushed yesterday by the Patriots, and crushed is crushed. But I want to talk about happy news. I want to talk about good news. I want to talk about the Giants getting a win because in the next 3 weeks, the Giants more than likely aren't going to win. They got some tough games. They got the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Buccaneers on the next 3 opponents. I don't know anybody who thinks the Giants are winning any of those games, but. Then they have the Eagles and the Dolphins back-to-back. So it could be back-to-back wins.
Maybe.
So that might be the time of the season. Because right now, 2-5, 3 more losses is 2-8. And that's when everybody's going, the Giants, we're going to top 3 pick, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to play the Eagles and Dolphins, and then they'll be 4-8.
Well, the NFC East, brother, is 5-1 the Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys division.
The rest of them are 2-5.
The Eagles are trash.
Oh God, the Washington football team is.
They're pretty trash too. And that Washington was supposed to at least have a pass rush and some semblance of a defense. Their defense has been terrible. So they might have a pass rush, but that's all they have. Their defense is not good, and that's another game the Giants could win. But you know, we'll see where that goes. That's down the road, obviously. But you know, I just wins are so few and far between in the football season. In the last, I mean, we're talking like at least 4 seasons now. That I feel like any time the Jets or the Giants win a game, it needs to be celebrated, and it needs to be. It just needs you just need to be able to feel happy about it and feel good about it, because it's you know, on the other side of I'll say town, but really of stadium, I should say, because since they share the same building, the Jets got crushed by 41 points, 54-13. It's embarrassing, but hey, we got the Giants getting a win. And making their, I mean, I can't even say football fans, because obviously the majority of people in New York are rooting for the Jets or the Giants. It's not both. I root for both because I'm not that big of a football fan. But to get a win and to see somebody experiencing some success, for me, I'm happy about it. But again, I still see the end of this Giants season going badly. I don't see Joe Judge losing his job per se, but I see Gettleman being fired after the season because this team can't figure it out and they can't get out of their own way, and that's on the GM. I see Daniel Jones being replaced with whatever draft pick the Giants get, and possibly them trading up with using the pick that they're going to get from the Bears, which should be a high pick because Justin Fields hasn't been the answer in Chicago yet. Which, I mean, let's put it this way. Anybody who expects a rookie quarterback to lead you to the playoffs is just delusional. Which brings me to my mook friend Croce. Because he said before the season started, Mac Jones, rookie out of Alabama for New England, he said before the season that the Patriots were going to win 12 or 13 games.
And?
Now, look at the Patriots' record.
Well, they're
3-4.
They beat up on the Jets.
Yeah, good. Everybody beats up on the Jets except the Titans. How did the Jets beat the Titans?
I don't know.
The Titans are a good team. I don't understand how that one happened. But anyway,
the Bills are 4-2, and the Patriots are 3-4.
3-4. Yep. All right. But my mook friend Croce, who makes what I like to call the Croce idiot prediction, the CIP, that was another one. 12 or 13 wins with a rookie quarterback. Are you kidding? And then there he was yesterday, of course. Oh, look at the Patriots kick the crap out of the Jets. Yeah, good. You're 3-4. Where's your team going? Nowhere. He's already putting Mac Jones in the Hall of Fame. He's got Tanner Houck, some rookie pitcher for the Red Sox who won all of one game this season. He's got him going to the Hall of Fame. A lot of Hall of Famers in Boston.
They love their players.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But anyway, so yeah, the rest of the AFC East is trash. The Bills are the only real team there. The Dolphins are terrible again. Brian Flores probably is going to get fired after the season. They're talking about trading Tua Tagovailoa in a deal to the Houston Texans for Deshaun Watson, who nobody even knows if he's going to be able to play, because the Texans have committed to benching him because he's got all those issues with the sexual assault and all the masseuses and massage therapists and whatever. He's got issues. But if it comes to a point where a team trades for Watson and that team says, well, yeah, we want to play him, well, then I can certainly see the NFL doing to Deshaun Watson what Major League Baseball did to Trevor Bauer, who was in a similar situation, and just deactivate him and say, look, you're not playing. And it wasn't necessarily an official suspension because they said that he was being deactivated until the authorities got through with their investigation. But with Bauer, the investigation took the rest of the season.
Yeah, but
and the Dodgers could have used Trevor Bauer in the playoffs.
I wonder if that player or any player in that situation gets paid still.
Yeah, he gets paid. He's getting paid.
So
because he's not suspended.
Right.
So they like I said, they have committed to not playing him. But he right now is still getting paid. And he's on the first year of a mega contract. So I don't know what his number is specifically, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $35 million.
Not bad money.
And even Kyrie Irving is getting paid. He's not playing either, but he's getting partial money. So I don't even understand that. I mean, here's a guy who won't get vaccinated and is ineligible to play, but he's still getting paid for his refusal, which doesn't make any sense. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so the Giants happy. That's all I can say.
Well,
fourth quarter, solid fourth quarter, 3 drives, field goal, touchdown, win going away. Nice, relaxing win. Joe Judge probably smiled yesterday.
Maybe.
I didn't see it personally, but he probably did.
I don't think he smiles anyway.
You know what? Yesterday he probably smiled. Yesterday he said, you know what? Because Joe Judge, I'll tell you what, accountability. During the week, he said, this is on me. I respect that.
Yeah, but he just, you say that to protect your team.
Yeah, but not a lot of coaches do.
Yeah, I know, but still.
I mean, you say that. When did Adam Gase ever say it's on me?
Never. Exactly.
So that's why I got to give Joe Judge respect, because it's not going well. He knows there are issues. He knows there are things, a lot of things that need to be fixed on this team. But he's there saying, "Hey, put it on me." It's everybody's fault, but it's also my fault. And not a lot of coaches do that. So good for Joe Judge. He's part of the problem too. I like him. I think he's a good coach. I think if he had good talent, I think he would be a good head coach. But right now, the Giants don't have enough talent.
Okay.
So,
well, quickly, the Jets lost 54 points to 13.
What a disaster.
The last time they lost this big was against, guess who? New England.
New England, 1978.
They lost 55-21. Most ever.
No, the fourth quarter. 54 points is the fourth most points ever allowed by the New York Jets. And don't think. I'll tell you what. Here is how upset about this game. And I'll give Robert Saleh, the coach of the Jets, I'll give him credit, because he didn't yell after the game, didn't scream, he didn't get upset. He was clearly not happy in the post-game press conference, but he came across as chill. But he swore at least a couple of times during the press conference.
What's wrong with that?
It's not his thing. He's not that guy. And each time he did it, he said, "Oh, excuse my language." So he was very, very, like I said, very cool, very chill. But that's how you know he was mad, because he's not a guy who does that. He's a very polite, proper guy. He's very measured. For him to drop a couple of bombs like that, and I don't, they bleeped him out on TV. I wasn't exactly sure which words he used, but for him to come out and say, "Well, excuse my language," that's why you know he's a defensive guy.
Right.
So for his team to give up 54 points, and secondly, I'm sorry, but Bill Belichick is going to be a miserable SOB until the day he dies.
That's true.
Why are you running up the score in the fourth quarter against the Jets? We all know why.
Because
but why?
He was the coach for one day for the Jets.
There was no reason to do what he did. He's throwing the ball. They're running trick plays. It was ridiculous. You're throwing. He's throwing long down the sideline in the fourth quarter when you're up 25 points already.
He's very happy to do that.
Like I said, miserable SOB till the day he dies.
That's not changing, Tim. You know,
That's what I just said.
Mr. Hoodie. Anyway, I really enjoyed.
And also, wait, before you, I don't know where you're going with that, brother, but if you're going away from the Jets, I just want to say,
yes,
Zach Wilson did injure his knee yesterday.
Right.
He's getting an MRI today, but the initial diagnosis was the injury is to his right posterior cruciate ligament, which that's the back of the knee. If it was anterior cruciate, he'd be out for a year. But posterior cruciate, a lot of times, it's almost like a hyperextended knee. So sometimes it needs surgery. If it needs surgery, then he'll probably be out for a month, maybe 6 weeks.
Okay.
But we'll find out with the MRI later today. Probably 15 minutes after the show.
It could be the best thing that happened to him if he is actually out.
To sit and not get his brains beat in and be able to observe a little bit, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Okay, this week, brother, the Knicks and the Nets started the NBA season. Opening night, Knicks versus Celtics. If this is the team that's going to play the rest of the season, this team is going to own New York by January. This was a fantastic game. It went to double overtime. They really played well. But they played with passion, too. I thought they played with passion.
They played with passion, for sure. I don't think they played well, but they definitely played with passion.
They won, so, that's all that matters.
Well, yeah, but just because you win, it doesn't mean you played well.
Well, I'll say that.
I like the game. It was a fun game. It was an exciting game. For a season opener, you're playing against the Celtics, which obviously big rivalry. But, the Knicks basically outlasted the Celtics. And that was good to see. Because this is the game that before last season, you could take any Knicks team from the last 10 years, they would have lost that game.
Probably, yeah.
So I like where the Knicks are. There's a lot of good things on his team, good pieces on his team. Just the fact that none of their rookies are playing is a positive step for this team, because this is a Knicks team that, over the last 10 years, when they've had first-round picks and rookies, they've had to play them because they didn't have anybody else. But now every guy that they drafted is sitting on a bench and is a DNP coach's decision.
Right. So
that's not a horrible thing. Either that or they played against the Magic the other night because the Knicks destroyed the Magic down in Orlando, made a franchise record 24 three-pointers in that game. But,
too many, brother.
But here is my issue. And my issue is the 24 three-pointers, because they took 54 three-pointers to make 24.
Right.
Which, all right, percentage-wise, it's a good percentage. And it makes sense, but you're not going to hit more than 40% of your three-pointers every night. Basketball doesn't work that way. And in fact, last night, that was Friday night, I believe, that game. Last night, the Knicks played Orlando again. This time they played them at the Garden, and they went 7 for 13 in the first quarter from three-point range. Now, extrapolate that number, and that goes to 52 three-pointers. It's way too many.
52%.
No, it's 13. 13 times 4.
Okay.
13 times 4. Okay. So it's and yes, they made 7 of them. So percentage-wise, it's over 50. So that's great. But then the rest of the game, it was horrible, because they wound up making 13 for 42, I think it was. So, do the math. It's like 6 for 30 the rest of the game, or whatever it was. So you can shoot yourself into a game, but you can also shoot yourself out of a game, and that's what the Knicks did last night. So, they basically gave that game away. It was 110-104. The Knicks got outscored. Terrence Ross scored all of his 22 points in the fourth quarter for the Magic. And the Knicks, as far as I'm concerned, they gave one away. And part of the reason was because they're just taking too many threes. And I'm hoping that Tom Thibodeau can kind of talk to them about this and say, hey, we don't need to keep shooting threes. Because it's not a team really that is designed to shoot threes. Like, to me, R.J. Barrett, he's not a three-point shooter, even though the Knicks are trying to turn him into one. Julius Randle can shoot the three, but I'd much rather him take his man to the basket and look to get guys in foul trouble. Obi Toppin is shooting threes. He's not a three-point shooter.
No, you're right.
You know, I mean, can Derrick Rose shoot threes? Sure, but he's not great at it. Kemba Walker, same thing. He's been a guy that drives the basket his entire career.
I've said this before,
So who are these shooters that the Knicks have that they're taking 54 three-pointers in a game?
Too many. I would actually, and it will never happen, but I would love to see the three-point play go away.
It'll never happen. I think I would personally. I would be happy if they backed it up. But the problem with that is you can't do it in the corners.
No, you can't.
I mean, basically, if a guy has big feet, he can't shoot in the corner.
Or unless you made the corners unavailable to three-pointers.
Well, one of the, I mean, like Brook Lopez can't shoot a corner three. The guy's got like a size 22 foot or something.
Right.
So,
but I'm sick of three-pointers. Too many players take them. Too many players are not good at them.
They still chuck.
I know, and that's I think one of the things I liked about the Knicks opener with the Celtics, at least what I saw, they weren't throwing three-pointers up all the time. Boston was, especially in the overtime. And
shot themselves out of the game.
Yeah, but they did come back because of one. But it should be more like an emergency. You know, this is when we're going to take our three. And go underneath more, because no one plays underneath anymore. Everything comes out.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you got guys driving to the basket and getting the defender to commit and then throwing the ball back out to the three-point line.
Right.
It's like, well, what
Take
are you
the
doing?
foul.
You're 5 feet from the basket.
Take the foul.
Do something with that.
That's what I would do. And I wish you can teach the players this, and they like the three-pointer.
I will say last night, Cole Anthony, brother, son of Greg, former Knicks point guard,
right,
29 points and 16 rebounds for the Magic.
Wow.
I was hoping the Knicks would be able to draft him, even though he played in North Carolina, because I knew this kid was going to be a player, and I mean he hasn't lit the NBA on fire, and this is his second year, but he's going to be a player. He's too good. He was too good when he was going into college. He was good in college, and then he got hurt, and I think that's what lowered his stock a little bit. But he's a player. A point guard getting 16 rebounds. That's just silly.
But you know what that means? It means he's taking the shot and then running underneath the basket.
No, defensive rebounds. It means he's hustling. That's what it means.
Yeah.
It means he's hustling. It means he's playing defense. It means he has good court awareness. And also, when your point guard gets rebounds, that means the fast break is able to get moving quicker because the ball's already in the point guard's hands. You don't have to get the ball to the point guard. He's getting it. He's turning. He's going. He's looking down the floor, seeing who's open, seeing who's making themselves available, and you know who's actually ready for the pass. So, you know, I mean, what are you going to do? The Magic took him, and the Knicks couldn't. So.
You're listening to 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College, from the press box on your radio, or maybe a listening device at nccradio.org, the iHeartRadio app, TuneIn.com, Odyssey, Alexa, among other places. This show becomes a podcast later on Spreaker and Spotify and everywhere else you get podcasts. And my name is Rob Leonard. He is Tim Leonard. And we're here every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now let's talk about the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. Sunday, the Flat Earthers came out to support Kyrie Irving.
As I like to call them, brother, the dumbest of the dumb.
Well, Flat Earthers
because they were protesting for Kyrie Irving. I mean, first of all, they charged the doors. They tried to gain entry into the building.
Right.
So the people at the security at Barclays Center closed all the doors, and then it was you can't get in unless you have a ticket.
Right. Which is the way it normally works, by the way.
What is wrong with people?
I don't know. It's
why are you protesting saving lives? Vaccinations save lives. Plain and simple.
You know, I think who was the guy from Neil Cavuto was on yesterday.
Why are we talking about?
Well, hold on. He said everyone should get vaccinated.
You're kidding.
No, he's one of those Fox News guys who.
He's probably fired today.
No, he wasn't. You want to know why, brother? Because everyone at Fox News, to get inside, you have to have a vaccination. They don't tell you that. Laura Ingraham doesn't tell you that, and neither does
not.
Tucker Carlson.
They're too busy with propaganda.
Hannity, I think, has said it, but the rest of them don't, for whatever reason. And Kyrie Irving refuses to do it. He is still going to get some money.
He has his reasons, but he won't. He won't really say why. He said he wants to speak for those who don't have the voice. Well, that's idiotic.
He ain't Muhammad Ali.
Exactly. And somebody, I forget who it was, somebody said he was like Muhammad Ali, which was the worst comparison I think I've heard in probably a decade. Kyrie Irving is nothing like Muhammad Ali.
Probably because the Ali special that was on PBS a couple of weeks ago.
Because when Muhammad Ali protested the Vietnam War, he basically blew up his own career.
Yes, he did.
Kyrie Irving won't play a game this season and still is going to take home $17 million.
Lots of money.
Not even remotely close to the same.
No. And so, will he change his mind? No. Will
Probably not. I don't want to say no because we don't know. Kyrie Irving is a weird guy. He's like you said, he has said it publicly in the past. He believes the earth is flat.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still the case. I hope it's not, but he has said it. I don't know if he says things to get reaction, because some of the things that he says are just mind-bogglingly stupid. And this is a guy who got into Duke. Granted, he got into Duke because he could play basketball, but you have to have some gray matter.
I think, brother, if you're a good athlete, having a good report card doesn't really matter with Duke basketball.
Well,
so.
You still need to be able to function in the classroom, assuming they go to class. And we do have proof that not all Dukies go to class. There was proof. HBO, I think it was Real Sports, did that years ago with one of their players who took a winter session class and never showed up, but still got an A or B.
Well,
important. So this is what we're dealing with here. No. He is committed to some cause that he can't make sense out of.
Well, the other thing that gets me about it is that he doesn't see that this is the year that the Brooklyn Nets could win the championship.
Right.
And this is the year that they've been waiting for the last 2 years to get to. And now he's not going to be part of it, at least in the beginning, because he feels that he shouldn't get vaccinated, and for whatever reason, his reason is. But he's not looking at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that the Nets, this is the year the Nets should at least get to the semifinals. But now,
finals,
but I'll give them the semifinals. At least to get there. I think they're going to the finals, but at least to get to the semis. But now, you know what? This Knicks team, if they play like they played on opening night, every night, this is the type of Knicks team that.
Stop banging! I'm hearing it.
I know. I'm hearing it in my ears. I'm making a point.
Well, don't stop doing that.
I refuse. Anyway,
You're like Kyrie.
I am. Damn it! I'm doing this for a reason, man.
There's no reason. Do you hear that? It sounds like a drum.
Yeah, man.
So stop doing it.
I'm Ringo, man. So anyway, but Kyrie is missing the point. And this team. This is their year, and if he's going to be what he is,
that's why I'm saying though that I don't want to say that he's not going to change his mind, because I'm hoping that at some point he's going to look and see what the Nets team is capable of doing, and that he will want to be a part of that. Now, all of that being said, it's still going to take him how many weeks? I don't know if I don't know if he needs to be double vaccinated or what the NBA's policy is. But I guess he would probably just get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and get the one shot and then be able, I guess, after a few days.
Well, you know what? If you get the first shot, then you're on your way. I think
right.
That would be the way.
Most athletes have done Johnson & Johnson because it's just a one shot.
Right.
So to do that and then to be able to get on the court, that's the only reason that I don't say that, yeah, he's not coming back. Because I would like to think that at some point the desire to win a championship and the reality that the championship is there for this team to win,
yeah.
I would hope that that would resonate with him in some way, and in that he's throwing away a chance to be part of a championship team.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's because if he doesn't do it this year, then the only way that he plays next year is if COVID is a memory. Because otherwise, these guys are still going to need to be vaccinated.
Right. Of course, right now the vaccination, not the vaccination, the level of people getting COVID is dropping. We do know that. They might get to a level. But
there's supposedly another variant going on.
But they don't know yet.
England.
But you can't use that right now and say, well, everyone, you can't force that right now. You got to go with what's in front of you. I don't know what you mean by
forcing it, but I'm saying that's when the Delta variant came from England.
Right.
When we had no Delta here, England was getting it. Now something like 99% of the cases of COVID in the United States are Delta.
Right, and most of them are gotten by people who have not been vaccinated.
Right, but I'm saying that there is a pattern, an established pattern of how this travels.
Right,
and if it happens again like it did with Delta, then we're in for this other variant, and here we go.
Could be. I mean, personally, I think. Let people who don't have the vaccination get it, and let them live with it. I don't care about it anymore.
But the problem is that if they get it, then this is how the idiots think. They think now I have natural immunity. Well, all right, great, that's good for you. But how many people have to die so that they get natural immunity?
They don't care.
They don't care. That's the problem. So anyway, but I don't want to talk about too much about Kyrie. I want to talk more about the Nets.
Well, if I'm the Nets, I try not to pay him. That's what I would be doing right now.
That likely will happen at some point during the season.
I would apply right now if I'm the Nets and say, if Kyrie's not going to get vaccinated...
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen early. I'll tell you why.
Why not?
Because they want him to come back. If you take a step towards telling Kyrie, we're not going to pay you, he's just going to dig in.
Good.
He's going to dig in. It's not going to make him go get the shot. He's going to dig in because he's an ornery SOB.
If you were getting $17 million and all of a sudden someone said...
For doing nothing.
And they all said, well, we don't want to pay you anymore, we're not going to, you would maybe think twice. You'd say, maybe I'll get it.
No.
And he might be an ornery guy, and I'm sure he is, but you know what? $17 million is $17 million.
Well, I'm telling you that they're not going to do that until it becomes...
Is he married?
Apparent. Yeah, he's got a family.
Okay, well then you got to pay your bills.
Well, it's not like he hasn't made money.
He might have blew it all on, whatever.
He's not Allen Iverson. So, but this is what's happening, and the Nets, the issue the Nets are having right now is they're Harden and Durant are back. Great. Joe Harris is back. But the Nets have so many new pieces.
Right.
They're still trying to figure it out as a team. They're 1-2. I mean, they lost to Charlotte last night and got hammered, really, because Durant was the only guy who played well.
Right, and the other thing is, without Kyrie Irving there, they got to redo their chemistry. And if he ever does come back, then they have to redo it again, and it might be in the middle of the season or towards the end of the season. It will be in the
middle of the season. He's not coming back anytime soon, and even if he does come back sometime soon, he's still going to... I mean, he's kind of in shape because he went through most of training camp with the team.
Right.
But it's still going to take him a couple of weeks and to go through practices and get some work in with the team. But Harden is more than likely going to be the point guard, so he'll be running things. So Kyrie will be the shooting guard, and he's not going to have to handle the ball, and people aren't going to have to react to him as much. But he's still going to handle the ball because Harden's not playing 48 minutes. So when Harden's not in the game, Kyrie's running the show. So there's overlap there, and there is so much that needs to be done, and you can't just flip that switch and hope for the best. And we found that out last year because how many times were guys hurt with the Nets?
Every other day.
It seemed like one guy would get healthy and then another guy would get hurt. So we found out they can't flip that switch because you need to have guys healthy and you need to have guys around. And the Nets never really had that last year. After they traded for James Harden, they never really were in that position for any kind of extended period of time where all three guys were healthy and all three guys were playing at the same time.
Yep. Anyway, we'll see what happens with the Nets. It's too bad that they, like I said, they should be owning this season as theirs. in New York, which is a tough town to break into because it's a Knicks town.
Yeah.
It's very much still a Knicks town. Even when they lose, it's a Knicks town.
Yeah, but I mean, the Nets yesterday had somebody named Javon Carter starting for them. I don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
And this is a team that's got stars on it. I mean, like I said, LaMarcus Aldridge is back. He didn't play last year because he had the heart thing. He kind of retired, but now he's back because the doctor says that he can play with it. The Nets brought in Patty Mills. He's going to play some point guard for them. They got Blake Griffin back. So they have a lot of really good pieces, even though Griffin didn't play last night. That was a load management thing. But this is
load management?
Basically, they give the guy a day off. So that it's because they don't want guys playing too many games.
Why not?
Because wear and tear on the body. Blake Griffin's old. He's not gonna play 82 games, brother.
So?
Well, yeah, I love it how you just love to abuse athletes, pitchers, basketball players. You don't care.
If you're hired for 82 games, you should at least be available for 82.
No, it's not what happens. It's a way to prevent injury.
Even if you're sitting on the bench knowing you're not going to play, and maybe you come in the last 2 minutes, you're Herb Washington.
No, you just don't worry about it.
I don't know.
He might have been there. I don't even know. I didn't see the game last night because I was watching football. He might have been there. I don't know, but he didn't play. So either way, I mean, it's either that or if it's a situation where they just say, you know what, stay home, don't even worry about it.
I don't know, man.
We'll get by without you.
Anyway, the Islanders played against I still hate their name, the Vegas Golden Knights, and not the Las Vegas Golden Knights. It is the Vegas Golden Knights.
VGK.
Yeah.
What's like VBK from John Van Beesbrook? But VGK.
Or John Van Brenikoff.
Jan Van Brenikoff.
So anyway, the Islanders, are they're playing well, I think. I think they're playing well.
Well, now they're playing well. Yeah. Last week at this time, we were, my God, what's going on? They lost their first 2 games.
Yeah, they were horrible.
Which somehow it has been a... kind of an annual thing with Barry Trotz. I don't understand it. The Islanders don't start well under him. It's 2 or 3 games, which is not a big deal. 2 or 3 games in an 80-something game season isn't a big deal. But when it's the first 2 games and you come out of the gate and you lose 6-3 and 5-1, it's like, well, what's going on? Like, this isn't good because you don't have anything else to balance it off with. But you know what? I can look at the first 2 games and say, oh, well, the Islanders lost 6-3 and 5-1. That's horrible. I'd rather look at the last 2 games where they won both by shutouts.
Yep.
So thank you very much, Ilya Sorokin. Thank you very much, Barry Trotz. And let's get some W's on the board. And now the Islanders are they're tied they're in 5th place, but the Rangers are actually in 1st place in the Eastern Division with 9 points, and there's three teams tied with 8. So it's all packed together. It's early in the season, but Sorokin has been the story because Semyon Varlamov. Nobody knows what his injury is, but he's got an injury, and it's some kind of I think they called it a middle body injury. There's a lower upper.
He's hanging out with Jacob deGrom.
I don't know
in
what
the mysterious injury place.
Probably the mysterious injury ward, but nobody has been able to determine what this injury is. And the Islanders certainly aren't saying.
No.
So the only thing that I heard from Barry Trotz about the injury was he said, what was the exact wording? I forget exactly. But he said it was more nagging than painful, which may, to me mean it could be like a sports hernia or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and speculate. Because he made it sound like Varlamov would be back before the Islanders play their first home game.
Right.
And obviously they have 13 road games before the first home game. But we don't know how long he's going to be out or how long any of this is going to last. Meanwhile, Sorokin shut out last night.
Yep.
Shut out the game before against the Vegas Golden Knights. 42 saves. Which was pretty awesome, and the Islanders beat old pal Robin Leonard.
The Arizona Coyotes.
I mispronounced his name on purpose, and 3-0 the previous night, and Sorokin made 26 saves in that game. So that was more Islander hockey, the game against the Phoenix Coyotes.
Yep.
3-0, get 3 goals, don't allow any goals, a decent amount of shots. 26 shots is it's not certainly not a high number of shots. It's not tiny, but 26 shots is good. It's certainly a lot better than 42 shots.
Yeah.
42 shots is your goalie's doing a lot of work.
Well, maybe the
He's
second
busy.
night back to back, they were a little slower on the ice.
Actually, the Islanders do well in back-to-backs with Barry Trotz. The record is something like 22-4 or something like that. It's ridiculous how well they do on the second game in back-to-backs. But I don't know what happens. What happens when Varlamov is ready, when he's healthy?
Right.
That's my question. Is Sorokin is starting to show that he can carry the load, and obviously the players are getting used to playing around him. So when Varlamov is ready to come back, does he wind up getting thrown back into that number 1 spot? Do they split, or does Sorokin grab the job? I'd be surprised if that was the case, because Varlamov has been really the backbone of this team for a couple of years now.
Right.
But Sorokin's a young guy, and it's supposed to be his future is to be the number 1 goalie for this team. So that's a situation I think that bears a little monitoring, and we'll see. What happens.
I was watching the end of the game. After the game was over, the team gathered around Sorokin, and it was very upbeat, and there was a certain happiness about winning this game.
Because he got a shutout.
Right, but there was more of a gathering of, hey, we got this for you, or that type of thing. So
and there was the other game, I don't remember who they played, but they gave up a goal with like 26 seconds left in the game, and that was the only goal. That was I don't even remember who it was, but that was, even Trotz even said after the game, he goes, I was really hoping we were going to get him a shutout.
Right.
Because that's how you build a young goalie's confidence. He's still a young goalie.
Right.
That's how you build his confidence. Get the kid a shutout. So you show him that, hey, this is possible. You can dominate another team. And then they give up a goal 26 seconds left. They fall asleep in the last minute of the game.
Okay, well, the Rangers are in first place with 9 points. This is going to be I think the quiet season that the Rangers have been hoping for and Ranger fans have been hoping for. I think this is the Islander season too, but I think the Rangers have finally rebuilt their team that they've been talking about for a while.
The Rangers, let's face it, they got a lot of high draft picks.
They did.
Those guys needed time to just to get some age on them, get some muscle on them, just to grow up a little. When you're drafting 18 and 19-year-old kids, they're not all Gretzky. They're not all going to come into the league at 19 years old and light it on fire. It doesn't happen that way. So the fact that these guys now have some games under their belt, they've learned the league, they've learned what they need to do, and I don't know, new coach, I don't know what the impact there is. I think it's probably too early to tell, but the Rangers certainly are showing that they're going to be one of the teams in the mix this season, whereas in the last couple of seasons, they certainly were not that team. They were clearly rebuilding, and it seems like they might be there at this point.
Yeah, I agree. The Yankees, after our show last week, they re-signed Aaron Boone to a contract extension. 3 years, which is about the average extension now for, they used to be 5, and then now it became 3. Because
3's enough.
Yeah, 3. If the first season's bad, they find out the second season if it's bad. And if it is, then they usually fire you after the second season.
Right.
They only have to pay for 1 season. Anyway, it's Aaron Boone, I think, has been a good manager for the team. Does he need maybe some help? Yeah, he needs pitching. Brian Cashman's got to get real pitching. It's
a bold statement, brother.
Well, he does. Brian Cashman's been around forever now. He
literally has been. He's been the Yankees GM for I don't even know how many years, but it's 20 something. Find that out, bro. Check that out. How many years it's been? But he's well into his second century as Yankees GM. So, here's my thing. Am I happy that Aaron Boone is the Yankees manager for the next 3 years? Kinda. I had issues with Boone this season, And the biggest issue was that the Yankees were just maddeningly inconsistent. You had a stretch where they won 13 in a row. You had a stretch where for more than half the season they were barely a 500 team. This team would win 4 or 5 in a row, and then they'd follow that up by losing 4 in a row. And it was just it just seemed like everything wound up being 500. Wasn't there a Seinfeld episode like that?
Yes, everything evened out at the end.
Yeah. So that was the Yankees. And it was infuriating because when you look at the talent on the roster, it was basically the same team as last year. And last year, it was a dominant team.
Right.
And this year, it was, what's going on? Like, why can't these guys play? So...
Okay, brother.
Or I should say 2019.
Okay.
Last year was the strike, that 60-game.
Brian Cashman started out, at least for the Yankees, assistant GM, 95 to 97.
When was he GM?
And then he started the GM in 1998.
All right, so he's been the GM. This is
31 years old then.
So he's 23 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time to be a GM.
Yep.
And as the saying goes, nobody's guaranteed a job in professional sports.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hal Steinbrenner loves Brian Cashman and has no desire to fire him.
No.
But my issues are twofold. Because, like I said, Aaron Boone, maddeningly inconsistent this past season. But when you manage the team that you're given, and you're not given a team that has all of the components you need to win. And by win, I'm talking about a World Series. I'm not talking about... The Yankees won 92 games this season. You can't sit here and say, well, they were awful. They won 92 games. They were 22 games over 500.
Right.
They finished in a tie for second place with the Red Sox. And made the wild card game. I'm not even going to say postseason because I've said it before. I don't consider the wild card game postseason. But how much of what the Yankees did this season was dictated by the moves that Brian Cashman has made? And the answer is a lot. And part of the problem with the Yankees is that this is a team that's built just to hit home runs. They don't manufacture runs.
Nope.
And you saw when they started winning games. When did they start winning games? Some guys got COVID. Some guys got hurt. Well, here comes Greg Allen from the minor leagues and gives them an injection of speed and defense. And here comes, there was another guy who came up. But there was Andrew Velazquez at shortstop, a Bronx kid, another speed and get on base and hustle. And those young guys gave this team an injection of exactly what they needed, which was speed, energy, and good fundamentals. Because all the Yankees were doing this year is swinging for the fences and trying to hit home runs. I don't know what's going on with Gleyber Torres. A couple of years ago, he hit 38 home runs. This year, I think he hit, about 12? I don't know how you have that kind of a fall-off. But, Cashman fixed the team to a certain extent at the deadline by getting Anthony Rizzo and Joey Gallo, because the Yankees desperately needed left-handed hitting. But how do you go into a season at Yankee Stadium with a lineup that has pretty much all right-handed hitters except for Brett Gardner? And Clint Frazier was supposed to be the starting left fielder, but I don't even know what's going on with his health at this point, or if Clint Frazier even has a career at this point. Because I don't see him being with the Yankees next season. But for that, it means they're going to basically give him away. Because if you can't trust the guy to stay healthy and be on the field, then who's going to give up anything of value for him? So when you're looking at what the Yankees need, I mean, I don't even want to hear, well, they need Carlos Correa, they need Corey Seager. I don't care about shortstop.
Right.
At this point, I don't care. Get me pitching. And we've said it before, I'll say it again. When the Yankees were the dynasty team of the late 90s and 2000, that team could pitch with anybody. And every night you went against the Yankees, you were going against a good pitcher. whether it was Clemens, Pettit, Cone, El Duque,
David Wells.
David Wells. They had so many guys who were outstanding. Now, you got Garrett Cole.
That's it.
And
Tells you a lot right there, brother.
For next season, you get Severino back in the rotation. I'm even going to say Jamison Taillon, because I was impressed with Taillon in the second half.
Right.
I thought he pitched very well. But get me a number 4 guy and let Jordan Montgomery and Nestor Cortez fight it out for the number 5. I need reliable starters.
Okay, brother, we got one more topic. Liverpool beats up on Manchester United.
It was disgusting.
5-0. Wow.
Disgusting.
Well, why
Horrible
is it disgusting?
Game. Horrible game.
Why? Liverpool won 5-0. What's wrong with that?
Well, for you, you claim to be a Liverpool fan. You probably can't name 3 players on the team.
I can't name one player.
Well, you should be able to.
But it's Liverpool, baby.
You should be able to name Mo.
I've been to Liverpool.
You should be able to name Mo Salah.
I've been to Liverpool. Have you?
Good for you. No, I haven't been. I didn't want to go. So.
Okay, well, that's your choice.
But, yeah, Manchester United losing 5 and hammered by Liverpool. Salah had the hat trick. Now is the highest scoring African player in Premier League history for another dubious record.
Okay.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the Manchester United coach, called it his darkest day. Quote, "My darkest day at Manchester United." Apparently, he forgot the 6-0 or the 6-1 thrashing that Tottenham put on him last year when they beat the crap out of him. It was a beautiful game.
Of course.
But so Solskjaer has been on the hot seat. I wouldn't be surprised if he is given the sack, as they say over in Britain,
right?
In either this week, next week, and what a coincidence! Tottenham is playing him this coming weekend. If Spurs beat Manchester United, don't be surprised if Ole's out of a job by the end of the weekend. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
Anyway,
but, that's where we are.
Good news there. Anyway,
Yes.
brother, one more thing. I don't know if you know this, brother.
I don't know.
But Beatles Songs is on Fridays at 8 p.m.
Who does Beatles songs?
Hosted by NCC alumnus Rob Leonard.
Wow.
That's me. Beatles Songs takes an all-encompassing look at the Beatles, which it does. Featuring their music together or apart, as well as cover songs the Beatles covered, and songs the Beatles either guested on and or produced.
It's amazing, bro. We didn't do enough of a plug for you in the first minute of the show.
No,
do another one.
Just a reminder, Beatles Songs every Friday at 8 p.m. right here on 90.3 WHPC. Coming up next at 10 o'clock, they don't call him Big Ed for nothing. It's not Little Ed. It's not like Little Enos.
What does that say
Enos.
on Big Ed's shirt? Climb in, strap up, take control.
What's it
Some kind of race car shirt or something.
Race car? Well, let me see.
I don't know. I don't know who's got there, Big Ed.
Climb in, strap to. Is this
I drove a NASCAR
at Poconos?
at Pocono Raceway.
Nice.
Was it like a club or something? Or
No,
a school?
You didn't scrape any paint, did you, Big Ed? Is that what they
No.
say? Is that to say what they say?
155 miles an hour.
Sweet. No
In
tickets.
a real NASCAR.
No
Come on,
tickets.
I've seen you on the Southern States before.
I was going to say, Big Ed driving down to Florida. He's probably touching near 155.
Big Ed's in the car. He goes 155. I've done this down 95, man, between Georgia and Florida. Boom. Because I've driven with Ed, and so is Tim.
Yes, very true.
And it's you're gripping onto the handle of the door. It's like
We got to get there on time.
That's right, man. No other way with Ed.
Big Ed's one of those guys. Got to make time, guys.
20 hours from Florida to Long Island, and it takes 3 hours to go from the Goethals Bridge.
Yeah.
Anyway, take care. I'll see you on Friday with Beatles Songs. Again, next with Good Gold. Take care and bye-bye.